Former 49ers cornerback and current NFL free agent Richard Sherman went on a podcast, the Chris Collinsworth podcast, and said, quote, "I think people are missing out on the big picture. They've had this huge discussion about black quarterbacks and how they're kind of stereotyped in. They're not the hard worker. They're athletic. They're this, they're that." And that's where they start pigeonholing Justin Fields. He's literally the most efficient, if not the most efficient quarterbacks in the draft. He has similarities to what Jimmy Garoppolo does. Jimmy G is very efficient quarterback. He's going to have high completion percentage. And so basically he was attributing Richard Sherman qualities that 49ers sort of liked in Jimmy G that could potentially be there for Justin Fields. It's important to note that Richard Sherman also said Jimmy G will likely be the starter in 2021, but he thinks that Justin Fields will make Kyle Shanahan's offense so much more dynamic. So Kimberly, is Big Mac Jones the 49ers' best option with a number 3 overall pick, or do you think Justin Fields should definitely stay in the conversation?
You know, I totally see what Richard is saying because, you know, in talking to people about the 49ers, you know, when you mock Mac Jones to the 49ers, it's, well, he's similar to Matt Ryan, or it's similar, like you can plug and play him instead of Jimmy G, like it's seamless. I get that, and I totally understand that, but the counter to that is, you know, Kyle Shanahan he inherited Matt Ryan. You know, it's yes, they did make the Super Bowl. I was actually at that Super Bowl where they blew it, but you know, at this point, when you got a chance, when you move up, you're that aggressive to move up in the draft. You know, people have said to me, do you want the same old, same old? You know, Justin Fields, as Richard Sherman was saying, he's a dual threat guy. He's a pocket passer. He's primarily a pocket passer, but he can extend plays with his legs. He can win games with his legs. You know, you talk about heart, like, you know, does this kid love football? You watch him in the Sugar Bowl against Clemson, where he outplayed Trevor Lawrence, though I'm not saying that he's better than Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is that dude. But to watch him in the Sugar Bowl and to see him go down with that really bad injury and him saying, oh, they shot me up and I came out, like that's hard. That's a guy that, as a teammate, you see like, okay, he's a dog, we can win with him. But I will throw in another guy, because when in the conversation of who should the 49ers take, I hear, yeah, Mac Jones, but I hear Trey Lance. So, you know, he's a kid. Experience is a downside because people say, well, he didn't start that many games. I get that, but he has everything. He can throw it. He can run it. You talk about Mac Jones gets praised for being that quick processor. Trey Lance, people say the same thing about him. So that's an interesting guy. I'm curious if Trey Lance might be the guy, because they have Jimmy G there. He can play this year. You give Trey Lance some time, get some seasoning, just like marinate a little bit in the NFL, and away you go in 2022, excuse me. So that'll be interesting.
It's the First Take, Her Takeover of Chiney Golic Jr. on ESPN Radio. Kimberley A. Martin, Charly Arnolt here. And the pressure is building. You're right, Kimberly. And Jeff Darlington, our own ESPN NFL insider, actually talked about this, saying that Justin Fields, his second pro day, is all about the 49ers.
Well, I think this is impressive that Justin Fields has decided to have a second pro day. Of course, we didn't have the scouting combine, but Fields making very clear that if there were people that didn't get to attend his first pro day, he was happy to do it again. The 49ers, the most important team on Fields' radar at this point, were not there. They were with Mac Jones in Alabama. So they'll get a chance to see him in person. Fields, by the way, in his first pro day, though, ran a 4.4440, also threw with widely acclaimed accuracy and power. So it's not like he has anything more to prove. It's just about sort of showing the 49ers, who, by the way, do feel like they're trending toward picking Mac Jones. So maybe we'll have some drama in these coming weeks, maybe some second guessing from San Francisco. But for now, it feels like they're just kind of making sure they do their due diligence before they make that third overall pick.
That's Jeff Darlington, our ESPN NFL reporter. And Charlie, as someone who has probably one of, if not the hardest job at ESPN, sitting between Max and Stephen A. as they debate these questions and these quarterbacks, how have you seen the conversation amongst those two even evolve?
I mean, I think everyone right now is, the thing with the draft is you have ideas of how things are going to pan out, but truly at the end of the day, you just don't know. There have been so many, oh, what ifs, or but this, or what if this happens, or oh, will they trade up, will they trade down? No one knows what's going to happen. I mean, and even like when you imagine a player being a perfect fit for a certain system, do you really know? Like, if you ask me, I think Justin Fields is a great fit for the 49ers. I mean, Kyle Shanahan has already made it clear he wants a quarterback that can move around with ease and can avoid the pass rush. And for me, that is Justin Fields over Mac Jones. I like his size. I like the way he moves. He's quick. He can run the ball. I think that he has a bit more of a experienced quarterback aura to him, which I think will fit well with Kyle Shanahan's offense. So for me, that's the quarterback I would go with if I was in the 49ers front office, which I'm not. So I can only offer my steadfast advice to all of you.
Tough choice.
Look, our network is very grateful, Charly, that you're not in the 49ers front office, because you play referee to some of the biggest ballers each and every day on TV. I don't know how you handle it, girl.
I mean, honestly, it's just so entertaining, the things you hear, and like you just never know what to expect. And I just love it when you have the producer and they're like, we got to go to break, and I'm like, but I can't say anything. I can't get a word out. And eventually you're like, okay, no more. Shut up.
Time out. Audible. Be quiet. Shut up. It's all good. But hey, girl, not only do you do that extremely well, Charly Arnolt, First Take host and also Sports Nation, but man, you're great with coming up with nicknames. Big Mac Jones. Better than
I'm going to make
Jones.
this happen. I'm literally going to contact McDonald's and I'm going to be like, yo, this is it.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.